wanting to just give or surrender themselves and the country to God. Under George Weah administration, we have institutions with no leadership. Ministries and agencies are now considered as no action or no good institution. But I will say this to you, fellow Liberians, that we have a government in a country where George Manuel Weah has no clue as his activities, yes, as his activities and expression clearly show his limitation and incompetence. A very negative form of leadership that we have ever experienced in our lifetime. The economic situation in the country under George Weah is by far worse than Somalia, than Southern Sudan, and any other worst country you can ever think about. And that includes the country called Liberia that he is president of right now. After 5 years, we all, both internationally and domestically, are seeing Liberia going down a path that is worst. Our people are getting poorer every day. They are begging for donuts. They are begging for candy. And anything they see anyone in possession of, they are begging for it. We had never seen a leadership failure in the history of our country than this government led by George Weah. But I would say this to you, fellow Liberians, do not surrender yourself to God. It's not yet the end time. Do not surrender the country called Liberia, where we all from, to God right now. Let's focus on 2023 election to vote George Weah out of office. That is my message to you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you, good afternoon to you. This is J. Randy here. And again, sorry for coming on late at this time here. We have been very, very engaged from my end here. So I will encourage you to please share the video. We have a very, very interesting conversation tonight. Yes, and we plan to run this thing here to maybe 9:15 so that you can, take the rest of the time off and do what is best for you. So thank you so much for joining me here this evening. We got a lot of things here to unpack here tonight. So please, I encourage you to share the video. So let me just entertain you with something else as we prepare. All right. So let me just get you something else here to entertain you guys while we share the the video. I mean the presentation here. So let me just bring something up here for you guys quickly here so that you guys can entertain yourself. Why don't we just put this this one up here? Yeah, let's put it one up here for you guys. Let's listen to this failed government, and let's play this here quickly here for you guys here. So just
do whatever in my power to be the agent of positive change, but I cannot do it alone. First, I called upon the revealed institution that hosts us today and from which the Vice President and I come, the legislative, our co-equal branch of government, to work with me to create and pass essential laws that are needed to complete the foundation of this nation. Together, we hold our citizens clarity on fundamental issues such as the land beneath their feet, freedom of speech, and how national resources and responsibility are going to be shifted from this capital to the county. The people expect better cooperation and more action from their government. We can do better together. Today, Liberians have reached an important milestone in the never-ending journey for freedom, justice, and democracy. A surge that has remained central to our history as a nation. Many of those who founded this country left the pain and shame of slavery to establish a society where all will be free and equal. But that vision of freedom, equality, and democracy has not yet been realized. That human longing for the true and lasting freedom has revealed itself in many ways since Liberia's founding. Sometimes the drive has been divisive and confrontational, and too often violent, bloody, and deadly, as it was in the 40 years of civil conflict, when the essence of equality and unity led us down the path of destroying our own country. Notwithstanding the harshness and immeasurable cost of the lesson, we have learned that equality and freedom are never just a final destination that the people or a nation reaches. These are the fundamental human rights that our people deserve, and that must be held up and measured against our action, our policy, our laws, and our people are those elected to serve the people. Almost 50 years ago, Liberians laid down their arms and renewed their hope for a better and more equal society. With the help of regional partners, the United Nations, we chose democracy as our path and elected the first post-war government, which was led by Her Excellency Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Your Excellency, I thank you for laying the foundation upon which we can now stand in peace and to advance progress for our country. But this inaugural ceremony signals more than a peaceful transition from one democratic administration to another. It is also a transition from one generation of Liberian leadership to a new generation. It is indeed a confirmation that democracy exists in Liberia, and that it is here to stay.
Okay, guys, enough with that bullcrap. You already know what's happening. The man is a failure. The man is a loser. All he does is just sit down and just go around and give speech. All right. So now that you listen to him, I want you to listen to what we have for you here. Right after this, we will start the show. Let me see what this is. Sit here. Let's try this here again.
Fellow Liberian, the current situation in Liberia under George Manuel Weah is making many Liberians wanting to just give or surrender themselves and the country to God. Under George Weah administration, we have institutions with no leadership. Ministries and agencies are now considered as no action or no good institution. But I will say this to you, fellow Liberians, that we have a government in a country where George Manuel Weah has no clue as his activities, as his activities and expression clearly show his limitation and incompetence. A very negative form of leadership that we have ever experienced in our lifetime. The economic situation in the country under George Weah is by far worse than Somalia, than Southern Sudan, and any other West country you can ever think about. And that includes the country called Liberia that he is president of right now. After 5 years, we all, both internationally and domestically, are seeing Liberia going down a path that is worst. Our people are getting poorer every day. They are begging for donuts. They are begging for candy. And anything they see anyone in possession of, they are begging for it. We had never seen a leadership failure in the history of our country than this government led by George Weah. But I would say this to you, fellow Liberians: do not surrender yourself to God. It's not yet the end time. Do not surrender the country called Liberia, where we all from, to God right now. Let's focus on 2023 election to vote George Weah out of office. That is my message to you. Thank you.
All right, so guys, thank you so much for the opportunity. This is J. Randy here, and that's the way we will open the show today. We are here to present the worst of George Weah. We're going to expose it here for you guys here, and there is nothing wrong with exposing Mr. Weah and his cabinet officials. On the top of our list today, I am going to present to you Mr. Samuel Tuer, a very incompetent individual who claims to know it all, but he doesn't know any damn thing. We are going to start with him today, and in the course of this month, the course of next month, we will begin to expose all the government officials. Mr. Tuer, according to him, sometime 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, said he's a close friend of mine, but friendship does not compromise your job function as it relates to the people of Liberia. Since 2018, Mr. Weah has failed a Manila Challenge program that they have given to him back to back. And just recently, thank God to those who shared the spoon conversation last Friday with me to analyze it. He will ask his question as to how sure is he that they're going to pass this year Manila Challenge program, because he had made a projection and we don't know the progress of that projection. But what we do know is Mr. Tuer and the Weah administration have failed for the past 4 years now, the Manila Challenge program, back to back. And that just goes to show to the high level of incompetency. Does Mr. Weah understand what the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Development means? Does he understand his function? Does he know his strength, his opportunity for improvement, his weakness, and the threat he poses to that institution? What are Mr. Tuer's strength when it comes to finances? And what is his strength when it comes to the planning and economic affairs of the country? From what we know, since then, we have not seen any progress report, whether it is from the Finance Intelligence Unit, whether it's from the planning division within the ministry. You don't know. We don't know this various sector in the country. We sectors supposed to be providing GDP for us. I am not an economist. I'm an engineer. But my sense of leadership across the world and my educational intellect has given me the opportunity to challenge Mr. Tuer in all these areas here. And my research skills and my research experience, my interaction with folks across every different professional expertise and educational background have given me the opportunity to challenge Mr. Tuer. We have a country and we have the function of a ministry. Here before me here is a book, all right? This book is called The Law of the Republic of Liberia. Yeah, all the laws. They tell you exactly what the function of the ministry and what are the expectations of the ministry. Mr. Tuer has been in there. He takes pride in promoting international partnership. The IMF and the World Bank are just a fraction, a tiny bitty fraction of the government overall performance. Think about you working, or let's say you got a mortgage to pay or you got a rent to pay, and somebody come and say, yeah, it's $10 for your mortgage. But you know your mortgage is around maybe $1,500 and the person wouldn't give you $10. But then you want to come out here to tell people that, oh, I got $10. That is not enough to actually prepare you to pay your mortgage. What do I mean by that? The government of Liberia take pride in taking praises from partners that are not even government institutions. The IMF and the World Bank, when they come on their quarterly meeting to talk with Mr. Weah and his team, Mr. Tuer wants you to believe that those things progress that the country is making. But I'm here to disprove that. I'm here to give you your own observation of what made Mr. Tuah to be somebody who is not competent for that role. And I don't give a damn about who say what. You may say Mr. Tuah is doing this. Mr. Tuah will tell you, say you're looking for a job. Well, I want to tell you this. Do you have a job? Do you think Mr. Tuah care for you other than using you? If you sit in Liberia, even in America here, what are you doing for a living? Even in Europe, what are you doing for a living? Do you think what Mr. Tuah is telling you, don't you have your own mind? So I'm trying to get that out of the way because I know those who are the douchebags of Mr. Tuah, those who are the low-life individual, that even their own children in developed country think more than them, they will come here. But you know what? The evidence will speak for itself. Mr. Tuah has done nothing for that country, and he will do nothing for that country. And that is why he and Mr. Weah and their team, we must put aside all our differences and unite to get rid of that government. That government is like a leech on your skin, but this time it's on the country. And if we don't do our best to remove Mr. Tuah and Mr. Weah from that country, you will have to live with your conscience. You will have to live with your guilt, and anything that happened beyond 2024, if Mr. Weah is re-elected, you that kept quiet and did not inform the people to make an informed decision to protect their future, you will not only suffer the consequences of your bad decision, you will live with it for a very long period of time, and history will remember you to be as somebody on the wrong side of history. Mr. Tuah is not only incompetent, he is also a liar. And let me say this, it is not George Solo who tell me to do any goddamn thing. I don't even know the hell where George Solo is. George Solo don't know the hell where I am. But what I do believe and what I do stand for is lies that people try to put out there. I strongly stand against that. And if I hear one, I will come here. The lie that Mr. Tuah put on Mr. Solo, I am here to disprove that. And the process begins now. So why don't we go to the video? We're not going to the video. I have the video. I'm not going to play the video. I want us to listen to the audio. And then we'll go to the video for another lesson. So tonight, you are going to be very serious with the lesson. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to be sad. Because tonight is J.R. night. This is J. Randy night. I'm going to touch every spot on you. The good one, the ugly one, the worst one. So just brace yourself. 1 minute you'll be laughing with me. Another minute you will get frowned with me. But everything I'm going to say is what I call learn lesson. You better learn that lesson so that you cannot repeat it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go with the flow. Let me bring out the first video here. All right. We have the video here. Let me bring out the first video here. All right. I mean, we have the audio and the video here. We will be coming back to this video here. All right. I might even show you the slides in here. At the end of the day, what I will do here, the president continues to feel that I'm going to remove this. I have that video, but what I did was I managed to capture the audio. So let's listen to the audio here. So Mr. Solo is on the show. The audio is come on. Many of you guys who worship those people on that side, you already know what the routine is. For those of you who don't watch them and worship them, you will see the video. But what I managed to do here is to capture the audio, because the audio will give you a focus where you will not be seeing the people, but you will listen. All right. So let's see whether this is it here. Let's try this here and see, because there are so many audios I have here.
But the one you cannot see.
Okay.
The feeling I have of the man. So when he invited me to a meeting,
this is not in here. Yeah. This is not in here. So let's move to the second one here. I think this should be the second one right here. It should be the one right here. Yes, it should be this one here.
And look up to us. That's what Stanton was just leading to. And if I have to...
All right, so that is the video there of Mr. Solo George. All right, George Solo. I want you to listen. George Solo will start to talk, and then Mr. Tuah will come in to explain. We will not go to Mr. Solo. We just want to understand what Mr. Tuah is about to say about Mr. Solo, and then we'll stop that over there. And then we'll go to what Mr. Tuah. So follow my lead. Be very attentive. Follow my lead, and let's pay attention here. All right? Listen, and let's listen well. So let's go ahead. I am going to make myself a little smaller here and make the audio bigger here for you guys. So are you ready? Take note. Let's go.
Second that, Keith. If you want 200 minutes to defend your king, or do whatever, do it. But some of us have a general contribution here. And that contribution is to make sure that our people are listening, we are informed, and our Spoon continuing to remain the platform where different views are accepted. You know, Carol Gray did this.
This is the founding chairman of the CDC USA, the founding member of the party, and a political ideologue of the founding movement. You know, I personally know Mr. George Solo on the shore. I don't think I know Mr. McAlaw. I've heard of him, but I don't think I've ever met him. So there are certain things I want to share straight up because I've seen you bringing George Solo as some kind of guy who is, quote unquote, some expert on governance. I just want to say a few things and to set the record straight because a lot of people are watching you and I don't want to lose the audience that's hearing the negatives and then go on another show. First, Joshua has really nothing to do with the founding ideology of the CDC. When we founded CDC in 2004, 2005, I did not know about Mr. George Solo. I first saw George Solo, I think somewhere around 2011. I heard of him speaking. So he was far from the founding of the CDC. When George Solo got influence in the party and we became chairman, CDC was in serious trouble. The party was in a state of disarray to the extent that I visited former President Dr. Amos Sawyer, interim President Dr. Amos Sawyer, the governance commission. He had sent for me. He had some interest in CDC in the sense that this party has a mass movement, has mass following, but it seems like the leadership was out of order and there were a lot of concerns given from the Americans and everybody about, you know, the vitriolic messages that were coming out. He was concerned about that. So he sent for me, he said, look, oh man, you guys need to embark on constructive engagement. And I respect you and his lecture in the party, but your chairman and other people, the kinds of messages that they're sending out is alarming the international community. So you got to work on that. And, you know, and then we worked with Dr. Sawyer to bring him closer to the party. And that's where I began working with the party. I can tell you, Mr. Sulu was kind of disruptive influence for our party. Mr. Sulu once stopped me from entering the home of Ambassador Weah. I received order that the chairman said you could not enter. I had gone to see I think the party and the standard bearer, but he had so much influence that he blocked me from entering and I had to leave. He took my friend Vafle Tule who called me and said, don't get angry. I said, you know, like I was with CDC since 2005. Okay, I didn't join CDC for Sulu. We co-founded the movement. Nobody owns a more than me. It was John Sulu who ordered the flogging of Henry Costa. I had to go to the police station.
That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. I'm here to prove that here. You know, those of you that don't know me, here what I want to give you as a tip. When you see me posting something very unusual, you might want to consider your judgment of me rather than say negative thing. Hear what I want you to say the next time I'm posting something. Say to yourself, there is something that Randy is trying to bring to us. So let me not make any comment. When I started posting George Solo picture and everybody pictures today, I saw some of those low-life individuals who are in the pocket of Mr. Toy trying to make some comment. But you just heard Mr. Toy, right? He said it was George Solo who beat Henry Costa. Folks, 2010 up to present, it's a very long time to keep history. You are ready now to listen to Mr. Costa revelation. Are you ready? Let's start the show. Let's start the ball rolling. Let's start the show and let's start the ball rolling.
And say I can make peace. I have forgiven him, but I cannot forgive. Now you think I can come and vote for such a...
At the second part, let's go to the first one. Let's go to the first one. Let's go to the first one and let me give you a rewind of the first one. And I believe they should be the first one here.
So what happened? That individuals who have been named.
My bad. This is it right here. Yeah, this is it right here. Now listen to this one here now. Costa is about to talk. Those of you who know Costa very well, you know his voice. You know that he worked with you, Wush Yonton. You know that he worked with Fidel. Listen to this revelation here. Costa is about to tell you his encounter with Mr. Weah and the CDC. When Toy came on that stupid show they call Spoon and lie over there, those guys should have the kind of information that I have and fact checking right there. But you know what? We are the real deal here. They don't have what we have. They got the bunch of people, but we got the facts. We don't have opinion here. We got facts here. Listen to the story.
In 2011, I joined the CDC with Ambassador Winston Tubman. Nathaniel McGill, Henry Costa. Nathaniel McGill is the chairman today of CDC. We joined the party together. Franco Grimes, Lloyd Scott, we all went to CDC with Winston Tubman. We were Winston Tubman's closest aides. I was a political aide to him. And as I said, my work had a lot to do with following the issues at bar and filtering them and being able to report back to him on the issues, my opinions, my assessments, and all that kind of stuff. That was my work. Since he spotted me back in 2005, we struck a relationship that lasted until 2011. We went to CDC together. The CDC Constitution states that the standard bearer is elected to serve a period of 4 years. The last time I checked, Tubman was elected in 2011, participated in an election. By the time the election ended, George Weah decided to kick Winston Tubman out as standard bearer because he wanted his standard bearership back. First of all, here's a man who does not obey any laws. He does not regard any laws. Complete lawless man, George Weah. And so what did he do? They said Tubman was expelled, and Tubman was resisting the purported expulsion, which was illegal. And so being Tubman's aide, the only one that had stayed with Tubman, because, Lloyd had to go back to the States. Lloyd was not here, Lloyd Scott. Nathaniel McGill took George Weah's side because he was seeking the future for himself in CDC. I was loyal to my boss, so I stayed with my boss, Winston Tubman. And there was this back and forth between George Weah and I on the phone, back and forth, when the whole beef was going on. And they were threatening me. We'll pick you up. He was telling me, we'll do this, we'll do that. But I thought it was a joke. Until this day, I went to Love FM. Jala Griffith is my witness. He interviewed me on the show that day. I will never, ever forget that day. And so when you hear me fight, when I'm fighting to prevent dictatorship in the CDC.
You need to share the video here, guys. You got other two choices here right now. You got two choices. You either put money into my Cash App or you share the video. Because when you sit on the good for nothing shows and listen to present memory of things, and when I come here to give you the full detail free of charge, so you got two options here. You either put money in my Cash App right now, or you share the video here. That is your choice. I want to see that number going up. If not, I will stop the video. Because you spend your time wasting your time on other good for nothing network. But we're here to bring the truth and to tell you guys the truth. So that way you can be knowledgeable. All right? So you'll have that option to do that. I'm sure you will take the easier route to share the video. In the meantime, hit that like button as well too.
From coming to power, you must understand that I have a personal, horrible experience with dictatorship at first hand. I went on the radio. Jala Griffith interviewed me. Love FM, 10th Street, which is now called LIB 24 before government shut it down. And I was explaining, quoting the CDC Constitution and where they were wrong about Tubman being expelled and all that kind of stuff. And the show ended. I walked outside of the building, trying to make my way home. By the time I got outside the fence, I was jumped on. I was jumped by these guys. The CDC pickup, the military-looking, not green, army green-looking pickup was parking. Tinted windshield, the double cabin one. The engine running, the doors open from one side, and those boys jumped me. Sabu unit.
And let me, for the record here, when Costa was explaining the story, the time it happened, I'm not talking about when he was talking to Fidel, but when that incident actually happened, I was supporting Costa at that time. Yes, I was supporting Costa at that time. And that's how I managed to capture this information here. For the sake of the record, I may disagree with Costa today, but in 2011, when he went through that thing after they lost the election, I was still supporting him. He and I broke away in 2016, the end of 2016, when he declared his support for Mr. Weah. So this video, I mean, this audio, I was in his corner at that time. So everything he's saying here, it is true. There's nothing untrue about it. I mean, there's nothing false about it. Everything here is true. All right? So let's continue to listen, folks.
And I was horrified to my core. Fidel, that is the worst experience I ever had. I saw things during the war as a kid or as a teenager, but never had I become as horrified as I became on that particular day. I will never ever forget that day what George Weah did to me. He was carrying out his threat to deal with me, to teach me a lesson. That's what he said he would do, and that is exactly what he did. No boys jump on me. Luckily for me, there was a pickup parked right there. I ran towards the pickup. I knew I couldn't fight them all, so I knew it would be reckless and stupid to fight off 6 men. So I grabbed the pickup with my both arms and held firmly to the carriage of the pickup. You know, the pipes, the steel pipes, the governor pipes. I held onto it. And so they was hitting me, punching me, knocking my hands, punching my arms, trying to release my arms from the pickup so they would be able to drag me into their pickup and take me away. The engine running, someone is sitting in the pickup giving instructions, y'all bring the man, y'all bring the man. This is broad daylight. When CDC was not, they were not the president, they were not the government. An opposition party. Because I had gone on the radio to say that Winston Tubman's expulsion was unconstitutional by the CDC standard. And what they were doing, then Giles Gravy followed. Amula Mane was also on the show with me that day. He came outside. Then Giles Gravy said, but what's going on here? And they were hitting me, Fidel, punching me, hitting me, trying to pull my hair. And I said, Lord, I will hold on to this car. I will not let go. And I was so terrified. I could have peed my pants. Such animals. Because of a simple political disagreement. You send trucks to beat me up and drag me. Who knows what they would have done to me had they succeeded in taking me away? Some of you tell me, oh, you know, Costa, and you say you're opposition, so let go of the CDC. You know my experience in the CDC. Before you want to lecture me on going there, do you care about what I went through? And they fought, but they couldn't take me away. So when they realized, Giles Gravy started calling the police. Giles Gravy, okay, FM, go ask him.
And just so you know, this was during Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's time, because 2011 was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's beginning of her second term in office. So, like you said, it was not CDC government. It was during Ellen time. All right. Today, I'm on Costa's side trying to review what Mr. Twelve lied about. That doesn't mean that I'm for Costa. But you see the kind of person I am. I always say what I want you to know. And that's the truth. I didn't go to church. I don't go to church. But I always stand for the truth. Now, many of you guys who are enjoying this thing now, because I know many of Costa supporters, they are all happy. But tomorrow when I say Costa not qualified to be senator, they don't get fair with me. I don't give a damn about you guys. I just want you guys to know this truth. That's all. Because your children are being told to tell the truth in this country, and likewise myself too. So let's continue with Costa's story, all right? Let's keep on.
They ran away. They ran back into their car. When they were going, they took my cell phone and they took my wallet. I didn't have any money in it. Come on, it's not even a good phone. And then left. I broke my fingernail in the process, holding on to that steel frame, holding on to life out of fear, shaken to my core, horrified beyond description. And then they drove off. Afterwards, what did I do? The police arrived after they left, and they took us to the airfield police depot. We filed a complaint. After we filed a complaint, what happened? Nothing came of it. The police guys are like, oh man, this is an internal party issue and we can't do much. And I called Nathaniel McGill, because you see, McGill and I had gone to CDC together. He was my brother in the CDC. McGill was at the time the vice chair for political affairs, I think. We went.
Did you hear what Mr. Costa said? And these are key things I want you to underscore and remember. Nathaniel McGill is my brother in the CDC. So if you ever heard Costa after McGill got sanctioned saying that the bank should really Costa money, should really McGill money, it is based on what you just heard, that McGill is my brother in the CDC. So if you ever think that McGill don't have feeling for Costa, you're wasting your time. But at least you're getting to understand it today now. Let me progress.
McGill said, oh, I'm at the headquarters, come. We went to the headquarters. And guess what I saw, Fidel? My attackers. The very same drugged young men who had just attacked me were at the headquarters of the party. I went to them and I said, gentlemen, you did this to me. And they all, McGill, every one of them knew that George Weah was the one that sent them to attack me. And McGill said, McGill and Samuel Tway. I mean, you know, just forget it, you know the Hollis.
So now you hear that now? McGill and Samuel Tway. McGill and Samuel Tway. So when you listen to Samuel Tway lie on Spoon and say George Solo, I'm not a fan of George Solo. I met George Solo. You all saw the photo the other day. But where the truth belongs, let the truth be there. You see, some of the things that I know today when I tell you I'm not going to Liberia, because if I do go to Liberia, my life will be at the highest risk. You know, just think because, oh, I just got to be more here. I don't want to go over there. These guys are wicked people. He know that we did that thing, and they were all in the know about it. And then he came on that day. And many of you that don't know these things then. And then he released that lies. You know what Stanton and Black Summer all for not coming on their show? It's because Stanton know who I am. That people call me the destroyer. He knows. So now that you know what you're hearing now, why you think Costa couldn't come? Costa will not come to disclose George Weah's name because Costa starting next year will campaign for George Weah. That's why he will not come up with a kind of revelation here. He think what he has said is gone in thin air, is not going to happen again. Costa will be in the corner of Samuel Tway. Costa will be in the corner of George Weah. So what you're hearing today, Costa will not come out to say anything. And I know many of you will not believe it because I know many of you guys that don't believe anything. But when the time comes again, we'll come again and play it. You think George Solo didn't know what Costa was saying? George Solo was part of CDC that time. But he did not respond to that comment because they were all part of it, but he was not the person who authorized it. But Tway felt that he can put all lies out there and people will buy it. But now you're hearing it now, right? Let's continue playing this.
Struggle looking, and we'll face the party, we'll get there, but for now, high look. And they were telling me to accept that, to live with that, with me being attacked, brutalized by the leader of the movement. And so I begged those boys to return my wallet. And they did. They gave me my wallet because Sabo Unit used to live right there at the party headquarters. Right at the back of it. They had a ghetto right there. Sponsored by George Weah himself. The same boys that attacked George Solo at the party headquarters. The same boys that attacked Geraldine Doe through saying all in your head.
Yeah, you just hear that, right? The same boys that attacked George Solo. Did Tway ever tell you guys on the show that George Solo was attacked because he differed with them? That the late Geraldine Doe that passed away, she was also attacked too? Did he tell you about that? How many of you guys know who Geraldine Doe is now? How many of you guys know who she is? Let me just show you guys Geraldine Doe here quickly here, right? May her soul rest in peace. If you don't know Geraldine Doe, you come to see her now. So let's hold the Costa Sonny here. Let's go to Geraldine Doe Sherry so you can get to see who Geraldine Doe Sherry is, all right? I think she should be somewhere here. Let me bring her here so that you can see who she is, all right? She was one of the first person who differ with George Weah them, and they didn't like her. They even attack her as well. Let me see where she is. She should be somewhere here. I will try to find her right now. Let me just go into my folder here. You will find Geraldine Doe Sheriff here. Let's see here. Let my stuff load up here. Come on, YouTube. Let me see where is she at. All right, let's see here. Okay, it's opening up here. Where are you, Madame Doe? Come on here. Yeah, she was a very, very nice woman. Very, very nice woman. You're going to see her shortly. Let's see here. All right. So for me here tonight, it's all about providing information to you guys here. So just relax and enjoy yourself with the information here. I'm looking through my large folder here. Yes. I'm looking through my large folder here. So there's a lot of information that's in the folder. So I have to take my time to bring that up for you guys so that you guys can see who Geraldine Doe Sherry is. Let's see here. Come on, Madame Doe, you were here. I saw you here the other time. All right, let me go to one more folder. If I don't see her in our folder, then we're back out of there. All right, so let's go to the last folder here and see whether we can find her in here. Yeah, let's go in here whether we can find her in here. If we don't find her in here, then we just come back to you guys to continue with Mr. Costa here. And I'll have to look for her another time. But I thought I saw her here most of the time. But okay, there she is. There she is. So when you hear Costa talking about Geraldine Doe Sheriff, here is the Geraldine Doe Sheriff here.
Not be qualified like some of the candidates. They may be more qualified than me. But in pushing the agenda for development, education is very important. But we need men and women that have the political will to make something happen. The body politics in Liberia is different. The people are yearning for people that feel the pain they feel, that share the same situation, that speak the language that they speak. And if you have 3 master's degrees and you cannot understand the language that they speak back home, my brother, you cannot leave from America and become a representative overnight.
And let that be a lesson too, folks. You hear what the woman said? You're not speaking your color there on a different platform, and you think you're going to win the people in Liberia, especially you know who I'm talking about. May her soul rest in peace. But she came that day in Minnesota and told Liberians, if you think your way of talking is going to convince the people back there, you wasting your time. So that is Geraldine Doe Sherry here. She's dead now and gone. May her soul rest in peace. This is the latest seat that Darius Dillon is in charge of now. This seat here. Geraldine Doe Sherry seat is the one that Darius Dillon is in charge of right now. Just so you know. If you never knew, now you know. Yes. All right. So let's go back to Mr. Costa. We're talking here now. Let's go back to him.
Out. The same boys that beat Salinto Montgomery beyond recognition. He says for Solon, the headquarters. The same boys that attacked Geraldine Doe through saying oil in your hair and chased her out. The same boys that beat Salinto Montgomery beyond recognition. He says for Solon. The same people sponsored by George Weah. Now, the man is not president. And then, so, few days, I think 1 or 2 weeks later, Ambassador Tubman decided he was going to resign. Because they were threatening him too. They were sending Tubman threatening messages. If you don't resign, we will throw petrol bombs to your house. So Tubman called a press conference. I organized the press conference. And Winston Tubman retired. And the very day Tubman retired, that was in March, early March, he went to the airport, got on the plane, and went to South Africa to spend a couple of months with his family. And so McGill and Samuel Tuer have come to Tubman that day at the press conference. Before the press statement was read, we prepared the press statement. Before it was read, we are asked for a copy of the press statement. I emailed it to him. money1@hotmail.com or something like that. I emailed the copy. I still have the email between us. I emailed. He asked for it. He wanted to review it. You said you had expelled the man, but he wanted to make sure that Tubman was not going to say anything that was going to make him look bad. I emailed George Weah. I have the email here today. press release. Tubman retired. Tubman did not fight with him. Tubman did not. And he was okay with the press statement. Now, Tubman made one or two changes in the statement. The one that I emailed to Weah was the first draft. The one that Tubman finally read, Ambassador Tubman, was a little different than the one that we sent to Joe. Joe Weah raised an issue with why I sent him something that was not exactly word for word what Tubman actually read. I have to, they say, my man, I apologize. Anything George Weah says, everybody must fall on their knees to Washington. I have to apologize for sending him the first draft and not the final one. Some of you with fire. And so Samuel Tuer and McGill sat there, and George Weah delivered the press statement, and then we went to George Weah's house. They said, my man, send the old man and go now. Come, let go. You go make peace with George Weah. The man's our leader. So I said, all right. I got up with them and went. Went to his house. I was frightened even going to his house. I was traumatized. And I went to his house. We entered the yard. And you should have seen the way his men were looking at me. Because they all felt at the time I was Weah's enemy. I still am. That's how Weah sees me until the day I die. As his enemy. And I walked it. Then, when the car entered, we got down. We walked towards. He was sitting next to the swimming pool. And they told me, they said, my man, when you go, apologize to the man. Apologize.
So that was, I believe, that was Nathaniel McGill, Samuel Tuer, and perhaps Joe Solo. I believe those were the three people that he talking about. My man, just apologize to the man. But you're going to listen to what we are going to tell him now. You're going to listen to that. All right? You're going to listen. But what I want you to understand here is Samuel Tuer is learning, or he has learned how to lie. That's what I want you to get out of this thing here. He has learned how to lie to defend George Weah. And there's another thing that George Solo said. And after this, we'll go back to Solo again and Tuer, and you hear what they will say. Everything that George Solo said, almost everything, we got evidence to back it here tonight. Yes, we do. Somebody says I should post the audio. I'm not posting the audio here. No. You want the audio, you got to send me $50 so I can send it to you. So every time I'll be interrupting it because it's very, very important. Yes, very, very important. All right? So I'm not going to post the audio on any page yet. No. It's for me now. Your una yet you run away. I'm not going to post it. You want it? You send me money, I send it to you. Right? Nothing free in America. Una elevator free. The last time I got the memo, they said elevator will soon be expensive. You put money inside, they carry you to the first floor. So nothing free in this country here. All right? So let's continue listening here.
They wanted me to apologize to George Weah. And I'll tell you the truth. I actually did apologize. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I apologize to a man who sent people to beat me up. I apologize to him. Figure, I did that. I will not lie. I will not make no big mouth here.
You heard it? What did Costa say? The man who he sent to beat me. Did you hear Costa say Solo sent somebody? It was not Solo. It was not Solo. But Tuer think that he can defend George Weah without any evidence to prove that. And that was sedition don't know about me. But let there also be a lesson to ANC people too. I want for ANC people to understand who they're dealing with. Why it is true that I'm bringing all these things out. ANC people, your lesson learned for you guys, y'all got to be very, very mindful with me in a positive way. Just you're criticizing George Weah today, I'm catching all your video there and keeping it too. When your opportunity comes and you start misbehaving, I will be bringing it back to the new opposition. We have to make Liberia better. And in order to make Liberia better, every negative thing that we're hearing in this government, we got to be getting ready to fix it. I don't expect it to be 100%, but I expect to see progress. How progress come about is somebody does something wrong, immediately address it and move on. People will start to learn from that. So I'm saying it today. I know everybody in the opposition. Like I said, tonight, you will laugh, you will cry, you will get serious. But that's just me. That's just me. That's who I am. That's how God built me. I'm not perfect, but I try to do what is right, especially if I can see it. So let there be a lesson learned for everybody here. The Bible says, do unto others as you have them do unto you. That is one of the guiding principles from the Bible that I use. All right? So let's go ahead.
And I apologize to Weah. And you know what he said to me? He didn't even show magnanimity and leadership. He looked at me. He was sitting there, had been sitting there apparently for many long hours, with many bottles on the table in front of him. And he said to me, "Ain't so you man, I was just trying to teach you a lesson." Those were George Weah's words. Until the day I die, those words will ring in my ears forever. I was just trying to teach you a lesson. Wow. I sat there completely silent. I couldn't say a word. Then he turned to Mangel. He said, "Mangel, I blame you. I told you a long time for the old man to resign, and y'all the one made it for the thing to escalate to this level. A long time for the probation, just so I left quietly. We had no reason to fight."
So there you have it now. We got a part two coming up. But let's go back to Samuel 12 now and listen to him.
And demonstrate that he's unable to serve the country because he continues to keep these people around.
Not the one.
Liberia deserves better.
Not this one here. That video, it also got a lesson learned too. And there's a reason that I brought that video. Now, if you get to know me, you start to project little by little while I'm bringing that video. You see, when you are on a platform and you try to create awareness, the person who is creating that awareness or the teacher who is teaching you, that teacher wants for you to start to have that sense of what his mind is going through. And that's why I want you guys to understand from me. Yes. So let's go back to the video. I'm into the audio here. I believe this is it here. Let's try again.
To talk to Costa to calm down, he ordered the flogging of Henry Costa. But there's a point where Costa came on the show. I said, you know, let's say I was in the CDC since 2005. Okay, I didn't join CDC for so long. We co-founded the movement. Nobody owns a more than me. It was John Solo who ordered the flogging of Henry Costa. I had to go to the police station to talk to Costa to calm down. He ordered the flogging of Henry Costa. But there's a point where Costa came on the show. He didn't want to seem like, but the fact is that he ordered. So he was a very negative, bad influence in the past.
So now you know Samuel 12 is lying now, right? Now you know Samuel 12 is lying. So let's go to the second video. This one made me laugh. And I hope it will make you laugh. Because the way Costa started it, it make you laugh. So let's go to the second video.
Wait. Do you think I could vote for such a man? Let me play the recording for you when he called me, asking for my support. Because some of you would say, I will do everything today.
Hold on. I like the way he said it. Do you think I could vote for such a man?
Yes, sir. And I will never forget that. Yeah. Never, ever forget that. Yeah. Now, you think I can come and vote for such a man? Wait. Do you think I could vote for such a man? Let me play the recording for you when he called me, asking for my support. Because some of you would say, I will do everything today, and I will talk it for the rest of my life, I will say it. But I will not be neutral and let such a man become president of my country. A man who throws petrol bombs to people's homes. To burn Eugene Nangbe's car in 2011, threw petrol bombs to Jared Indo's house. This is a systematic pattern. This is how the man operates. This is his modus operandi. He does not know any other way to resolve issues but the result of violence and vindictiveness. And so I've shared my experience with you, and now you understand. If you respect me, you will never ever ask me to support George Weah for president.
So that's something you need to hold him up to standard too now, because he just said that he will never ever, vote or support Weah. So mind you, the video got different components. So the day you see Costa supporting George Weah, you will say, J. Rennie coming with video again. So you just heard him. He said, I will never support Weah for president. So when he started to campaign for Weah again, Well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to bring the video back. Why we're bringing it back? Because we are opposition. If he does decide to support Mr. Cummings, we'll not bring that video back because he's in our camp. That's how we run election, because election is about numbers. So you're going to learn that too. All right? So let me progress here.
Because I'm afraid of the man. Nukwe reached out to dialogue. I told you. Didn't I tell you all? I told you that. He reached out to dialogue. But what did you say about Nukwe? Yes. You know when I criticized Nukwe here for so long, guess what Nukwe did? He reached out to dialogue. But when I criticized George Weah, he reached out to beat me. You see the difference?
So Emmanuel Nukwe was the he was in the role that Thomas Fala in today. Ways and Means and Finance chairperson at the National Legislature. That guy is ratting rich. He's ratting rich. But through Costa years of criticizing the alien government, he said all kind of nasty things, just how he did it for Joseph Boyka. It's the same way he did it to Emmanuel Nukwe. So when you hear him saying, because people were asking him on that day, but you say all kind of things about Emmanuel Nukwe, but he said Emmanuel Nukwe reached out to me. So he tried to build that connection that Emmanuel Nukwe reached out to him. Yes, he tried to build that relationship, but it still doesn't make sense. But let's see a little bit more, and then from there we'll be going to the next phase.
You see the difference? Nukwe reached out to dialogue. I told you. Didn't I tell you all? I told you that. He reached out to dialogue. But what did George Weah do? He reached out to beat me. I still have the scar today. My fingernail broken. I still carry that scar.
So you hear that now? What did he say? Emmanuel Nukwe reached out to me with dialogue. But what did George Weah do? He sent people to beat me. So when you hear Tue making a false allegation and lies, it's not true. Costa was arrested one time by former Salif on an early administration. We also got our story there too. At that time, Moba Molu was still with Costa. Remember, all those boys that you see beyond Weah, they were brought into the party by Beneda Ure. All the rebel boys. So when you hear Costa say, I saw the boys then, remember when Taylor left office, all the rebel boys then were left with no, how they call it, leader. They have to follow Ure, and Ure brought them and put them into CDC. Get that, and you know, as part of their history. So let's go back now to the audio and listen to what George Solo is about to say. Now that we have disputed Mr. Tue lies about George Solo beating this guy. Again, I ain't got no connection with George Solo. I don't know where he is. The picture we took that time was in 2012, long time ago. But when I hear things that I know that fill with lies, I will come and give you guys the truth, because I want you to live with the truth. I don't want you to live with the lies. All right? And like I said, everybody on the platform called Facebook, we all got purpose for which we are here. All right? So let me progress here. So let's go back to the audio. I believe this is it right here. And listen.
Not just the physical one.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, let's go back here.
I presided over the Grievance and Ethics Commission committee in the CDC as chairman, ultimately kicked Solo out of our party. I can say this for the record. CDC does not take political power with Solo as chairman. And so our conduit to political power, our path to power, depended on the decapitation of elements like George Solo. Wow. So it's quite astonishing how somebody like Solo, with all the bad influence in the party, who we got rid of, for the party to then move into the phase of constructive engagement, we brought back the soil. Ambassador Weah accepted to become peace ambassador. President Weah stopped all this. We ended step down movement. We squashed all of that. Move CDC to the party, extend like the said, you guys are on the path to taking power.
Okay, so let's move to George Solo. Let's move quickly to George Solo. I'm not here to listen to Tue. We just want to despise what he said. He's a liar. He tried to lie on the guy. So let's move to George Solo here. Let's speed up the team a little bit here, right? Let's move on.
Give Solo the chance to answer.
First of all,
yeah, but you're not going to G2. You on the call. We are not going to hang up on you. We are not going to hang up on you, but you must hear from Solo, please.
First of all,
It's nice that D12 acknowledged my participation in the CDC and what I stood for and what I antagonized. And D12 being an agent. And this is why today when George Weah won power, Ellen Johnson's salary was never audited. Because they had agent like D12 who was working for Amara Kone.
Now, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. We got a segment of another audio and then followed by an explanation. We are going to do a detective work. You see, for those of you who are still novice to Liberian politics, all I ask is to follow me here and verify things. Those of you who have followed Liberian politics since Ellen became president and after she left and connected to George Weah, that is you connecting to George Weah as part of your political trend. When you hear Solo saying something like that, this is another critical moment. But we're going to use our security and analytical knowledge to bring things together. So listen, because I will pause it and then we'll listen to something and then we'll analyze it again. So listen, folks. Listen to George Solo.
And if D12 want to lie, the first time me and Mane met with Amara Kone to talk about what Ellen wanted, it was in Ghana, in a hotel in Ghana. D12 organized the trip. Mane and I went there. They look at me as a rebel because I used to go and sit with D12 Amara Kone and say, what you are doing to our people is wrong. I do not accept it. If D12 deny now, let him swear on it that he never invited the political leader in Ato Ghana. I stopped him from seeing us. And I said, we will not see that man because he wanted to sell the revolution. This is where the misrepresentation comes from. If you look at D12 history now, when I brought him to Liberia and made him grievance committee chair and rented the first car for him, the first job he got was with the government in Ivory Coast through Amara Kone, that he started working for Ellen.
And he read about that. Remember my story where I told you that Tua left from here in 2014 and told me say that he couldn't live here because the country was hard? The portion of the story the guy is telling here now, it was something that I heard on the surface, but not in detail. Because when Tua left from here, he did not just go to Ivory Coast. He had a project that he worked on at the Ministry of Finance during the Amara Kone administration, where he worked with folks from the U.S. Embassy. They wrote some kind of project that he felt that gave him the requirement, even though Augustine Kafua, who sit in a finance ministry for years, to a thing that by that late project he did qualifies him. But what George Solo is giving you now is the bigger portion now of the story. Because I remember here when his brother Norris Tua called me and said, where's my stuff at? Where is my son here? Y'all give me 1 minute. Y'all give me 1 minute. If y'all can sit down and listen to somebody causing somebody man 24 hours, y'all give me 1 minute. Y'all give me 1 minute. Let me find something here for you guys here. I hope I will find it here. If I can't find it now, then you're on your own. All right. At least some other thing will tell you that small getting old in the town now. How many of you guys remember the index card here? Before cell phone, how many of you guys remember this? This is index card, right? All right. So let me show you something here quickly here. Let me see what I can find something here. All right. So I still got my index card here and all this stuff like that. See, when I be talking my thing, you gotta listen to me. I keep telling you, yo, I don't have things. So where is it? And I take out all the letter name from here. But in the index card here, it contains my body number here. Yes, it contains my body number. All right, I got his number in the index card. When I received a call from his brother in from Liberia, he called me and told me that Mr. Tua has gone to what they call it, to the Ivory Coast to do a job there. And I was like, oh yeah? He said, yes. So he called me. See, one thing about Liberian people, then somebody asked me how I know. Right here, folks. Back here to the camera here. Who name here? That was Samuel 12 number right there. See it there? Still got it here, folks. Still got it. Still got it. Still got it, folks. And I'm still going to keep it. Still going to keep it. I'm still going to keep it. So his brother had called me and told me that his man was in town, but his man was leaving to go to how do you call it? He was leaving to go to the Ivory Coast. So George Solo is right. Yes. So George Solo is right. All right. So George Solo is right. George Solo is right when he said that Tua got a job. Because when Tua got a job, many citizens felt that they were betrayed. Because Bill Tuawe also went to the Ellen side. Eugene Nawe went to the Ellen side, but that would be another story for another day. But remember, when Tua called on the show on Friday on Spoon, I know you say he's the idol or the idol, the founder of the party. So when you hear George Solo saying that Amara Conan brought him in to negotiate some type of meeting in Ghana, because 12 is the founding member of that institution. Weah just want money from things. Weah doesn't care for the institution. But they just use Weah fame and brought him to the big picture. And many of us thought that he was coming there to actually bring young people together. So George Solo is right when he said Amara Conan was working with him. But let's listen to George Solo again because another important part is coming up again. Let's listen here.
And it's through that connection at the podium, the transition, and that had George Weah sucked up to Ellen and got Ellen's support because of D12 as being a mediator. That D12 was rewarded as finance minister. That's why you see the Ellen government was not audited.
Very valid story. Now, shake your head good because I am coming to play for you an audio. And after that audio, if you are a very, very religious person who follows Liberian politics, what I'm about to explain after the other audio here, you will say, J. Randy, you damn right. So what Solo just said, when I listened to that audio today, there was something in my puzzle I was putting together, and I never caught it. As Samuel 12 has been working for Ellen, and that is why Ellen was not audited. Listen to this other audio here, and then we'll come back to do our detective investigation, our forensic investigation here. All right, listen to this. No, not this one. Sorry, guys, not this one. Not this one. Sorry. I think it should be this one here. Let's try this one.
The people of interest are facing a...
Let's listen to
Welcome to the Africa Today podcast from the BBC, recorded at 18 GMT on Wednesday, the 19th of September. I'm Audrey Brown. Coming up today, following the money in Liberia.
People signing for bags of money from the airport, containers of money from the free port. Just before the president took over, he was saying he made a way during the several transitional meetings that were held.
So what happened?
That individuals who have been named by the government to be people of interest are facing a panel of investigators from different security sectors, and this is happening at the police headquarters in Monrovia. And the government is saying that it is doing everything to get to the bottom of what happened or did not happen to this money.
So you've spoken to some of the people that...
Y'all share the video here. If you don't share the video, y'all gotta be sending me money here. Y'all share the video. Y'all can go on other people's platform. Y'all please hit the like button here. Y'all hit the like button here. For me, I only want the like button to be hit. Y'all can be 5,000, 20,000 on other political entertainment. You don't get the goddamn information in here. So I will be the shallow route today. Y'all put that in. In fact, let me come ready cash out here right now, sir. Let me come ready here for you guys. Let me come ready for you guys here right now. So maybe some of you guys got money. maybe you'll give me your cash out. So let me put my cash out right here. All right. You just sit on other show. You don't want to do anything here. You're going to sit on the other show there. So if you don't share the video here, you're not hit that left button, you got to give me money here now. Because right now, I'm opening all your money now here. All right. Nothing free in the country here. You got to pay me for my work. You think you know how long it took? By the time cell phone key, you took all the things you threw away today. You don't even got no thing around here. I don't want to got how thing, but you can just throw things around. But for me, I don't throw things around because I know that brain people, they believe in proof. Show me that thing. Mama, you lying, man. Mama, you lying. You cannot say that to me easily here because I got you very, very good. So you're trying to put money in my cash out right now here. Let me tell you now. You want the volume or you mail, you gotta put cash out over there now. We all gotta be there cause that you gotta put cash out in there now. You gotta put cash out in there now. And that you're not open my eye now. That's good. You gotta put cash out in there now. Let me give you the name here for the cash out here now. You can get your free information here. No, I can't give you free information here. Then you go on spoon and you'll be asking to put it, then you do everything. Yes. So you gotta pay me. You gotta pay me. You have the cash out right here. All right. I don't have the star right now or say lever. I don't have the cash right now. So my information is very expensive. I want the cash out right now. You gotta pay me right now. So let me put it right in there. Let me put it right in there. The cash app is coming up right now. Let me just increase the other letter here. You gotta pay me for my stuff. Che ready double. Yes, cool. Let go to come over there. Let the cash out over there. Let me come put it yourself so you can see it for yourself. All right. We leave the cash out over there now, so you can start to pay me now. And you say you are transparent people, right? So you gotta pay for my information here. You gotta pay for it. All right. So let's listen here now. So George Solo said something important here. All right, and I want us to pay attention here. He said that Troy did something important for Ellen. And I have been thinking about that thing until he made that revelation on Friday. So let's listen to General Pelele talking to Eugene Namwe. And then after that, we'll come to provide the analysis here.
Are subject to this investigation, and they are also subject to a travel ban. One of them being the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's son, Charles, who is the deputy governor of the central bank right now, and then also Milton Weeks, who's the former central bank governor. Tell us a little bit about what you've been hearing from them.
Those are two notable persons among those who are facing the investigation. I don't know whether Mr. Sirleaf has been invited as yet, but Mr. Milton Weeks, the immediate past governor of the central bank, was at the police headquarters today, and I went there to know from him what he made of the situation generally, and the fact that the government is alleging that this huge chunk of money had really gone missing.
I've been invited to come and assist in the investigation, and I'm doing that. I myself want us to get to the bottom of this to understand where the allegations are coming from, and so I've definitely informed the police that I will give my full cooperation to this investigation.
As you stand, do you know anything about this money business?
Not of any missing material, no, definitely not. I'm not aware, and that is as much a mystery to me as the question that we put money, but that the money was important and it was laundering, obviously.
That between November last year and August this year, around $16 billion in Liberian money was brought into the country without the knowledge of the government of George Weah. And he said the president has been very concerned about that.
Already we have seen documents to show that people sign for containers of money, people sign for bags of money from the airport, containers of money from the free port. This is why we are asking some of these individuals to kindly work with the investigative team led by the Ministry of Justice.
People still don't understand.
Now, I want you to pay attention here. If you really, like Brother Man said, if you can really remember when Eugene Namwe made that comment, that they were going to investigate, right after Eugene Namwe comment, Samuel Twerk came and said there were no money missing. How many of you guys remember that time? You just listened to Samuel Twerk, to Eugene Namwe now on a BBC interview that they were going to investigate how the money got in the country. And right after that time, I had to find out audio here. Samuel Twerk came out and said there were no money missing. and he covered all everything. So when you go back to what the guy named, yes, thank you very much, Benedict. Let me bring you up here. Yes, Benedict knew that. This guy here, he knew that because that's exactly what we said. It was a contradiction. So by that time, many of us did not know what George Soros is talking about here. But now you know now that when Samuel Twerking, according to Benedict, contradicted Eugene Namwe, we all were like, oh, hold on, what's going on here? What's going on here? And we also got the mobile model audio here too. Yes, we also got the mobile model audio here too. But we're not playing mobile model tonight here. So when you hear George Soros saying, and let's go back to George Soros now. Let's go back to Mr. George Soros now. I don't know where his audio is. I think it should be this one right here. Let's see. I think it should be the one here.
I cannot see.
No, that's Costa here. This is Eugene Namwe. I think this is George Soros here. Oh, sorry. All right. So he's on the side.
2011, I joined the CDC.
Yeah, hold on. I beg you. I'm playing. Okay, I think this is here.
T-Twerk and Lara never organized a meeting between me and Amara Kone and George Weah and him in Ghana. And I'll get a specific hotel name. Then he's not a human being. And it's the same projection that they carry, that criminal mentality from the party that what they carry to the government. When T-Twerk can sit here and say the American people say this man is a problem. Who is the American people? The same people that accepted me. I live in a country, mature American, I work here. I get residency here. I say American people. No. The American people that Ellen said when George Soros is there with his knowledge, with his fight for right, I will never be successful. So until CDC get rid of George Soros, you will not have conscience. Because George Soros is your conscience. Your political leader only want money. So I'm fighting that ball. Because when I'm moving from there, then I have taken away the heart and the conscience of CDC. And that's why she fought me. And I was Samuel to a meeting to now. That was their plan. The whole lie was their plan. Because when they removed me, then CDC lost their conscience. Because all job we have care about is money and expensive things. All Samuel to then care for is being in the middle. When Samuel to can sit down today, when Key Hassan can call somebody mentally insane and a groupie. Who is a groupie? A groupie is someone when you know someone you admire, then are you Key Hassan? You know Joe, yeah. We will not drink liquor when you eat food when you. No, let me not eat food when you know him.
Let me just say it here. They Key Hassan, man, he was nowhere. Nobody know Key Hassan. Key Hassan only came through Nathaniel McGill. The only relationship that brought them together, one, Nathaniel McGill got his daughter in Washington, D.C. going to school. And Key Hassan is keeping out with that girl. And anytime he used to come here, he and McGill used to meet. Key Hassan did not know McGill from anywhere, but it's just because he committed himself. And it was through McGill that Key Hassan got on that panel they got over there. That's why he's so dumb like that. But he got no connection to any sedition. Let Key Hassan show you any picture before the recent time he started supporting George Weah. He ain't got nothing. So when George Soros then talking, let Key Hassan keep quiet. Let Key Hassan keep quiet because he got no idea. But let's listen to George Soros. Let you finish up something here, right? George Soros is about to say something here quickly. Let's listen here.
Then you call me groupie when you are a groupie. And Samuel Twerk, you have a lot of pride. Even to put your face on this show to challenge me, George Soros, who rented a fuel car for you when you came for election, when you and George Weah were not speaking because you called him gay. You went to America after 2005, you wrote article that he was gay. You near him now because you want to steal the money and carry it to him. That the relationship you get. So you have the audacity, someone like you, who betrayed the CDC, insulted George Weah and left. It is on record. We can go back. Now you don't want to say Magalore talking, or Sylvester Williams talking, or George Soros talking. Then your platform where you on.
That's true. If you remember 2011 election, 12 were not in the country very active. 12 were very active in 2005 election, but in 2000 election, 12 were not that active. Yes, he was not that active. Yes, he wasn't active. All right. So George Soros is absolutely right. He's right.
Without your high horse, where you own morale between your stealing from our people. Now you don't want brave now. You can't say you speaking P English. Oh, he was
just hold on, real quick. Let's bring in Michael Law.
CDC was the opposition. Our job was to disrupt.
Just hold on, real quick. I'm going
to enrich yourselves. You are the guys who support George Weah with the corruption. You go to the central bank. You sign those checks. You were a truck driver in America. I brought you from the U.S.
You hear that? You heard that? That's true. That's true. He was driving truck in America here. He was a truck driver. And I want the reason why the first time I encountered Mr. Toy, I said that thing to him in 2018, he was not happy with me. But many people did not believe it. Not just solo himself is saying it. He's saying it. It's true. Now, when he was in for Junior too, he also worked at AT&T. Yes, he worked at AT&T. Now with the AT&T technology, it's like how you go to the regular phone store to get things done. And you know, when you go to T-Mobile store, you go to Verizon store, that's where he also works. But there's nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with that. But let the truth be too. Because myself here too, I work in the group home, clean people with my hands, but I have gloves on. I work in the factory, tow cartoon. I work in the restaurant, wash dishes. But I have to let people know. I have to let people know. So what George Solo is saying about Toy is true. But it's Toy that not being honest with George Solo. He's not being honest. Toy just only want for people to worship him. And George Solo has come and said a lot of good things over there. And by the way, when the show started, why you think Trigger Toy to call? Because George Solo is a very powerful guy. Ken Hassan stand no chance. A Toy had not called in, and in fact, maybe George Weah called Toy. My man, yeah, call into that show. Ken Hassan can make it. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened that prompted him to call. Because Ken Hassan they were going to humiliate them. But the information was getting powerful now, so they sent Toy. Because that's how they operate. They can send nobody. Weah cannot send anybody. And they did a sanction to it. Weah is done. They did a sanction to it. Weah is done. Let's listen again more.
Liberia made you grievance committee chair. When you became grievance committee chair after your anger with George Weah, for which he did not want to see you, I reconcile you two issues and said, D12 come, we need you in this struggle. You came, you listened, you sold out, you went to Amaracon, and right now you work for Ellen. Some of the information that is even going for sanction committee is coming from you. We know who you are. You are the one who dished out my girl because you have a competition with him about controlling George Weah. Don't come on this show and put on any minister of finance poster. When I knew you, you had nothing. To me, who you are is someone who came from nothing and decided to join the bandwagon to steal from the Liberian people.
That's true. That's true. That is true. When Mr. Toy was leaving America here, he may have made several calls on that very Sunday, but he also called me too. He called me and said, Comrade, I'm going back to Liberia. And I said to him on the phone, why are you going back home? He said, my man, they play too hard. I can't do nothing. I said, but my man, what are you taking back home? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, we came here to learn and go back home, right? Are you now trying to be the Nelson Mandela or the Dr. Martin Luther King? That was my direct words to him. He said, what do you mean? I said, for us to go back and lay the foundation for the incoming generation. And he said to me, we are getting old. I ain't got time for that. And that's how he left. When he left, he started with Found Out Ministry. Started working there. I remember I was in my kitchen. I think it was Saturday morning. My phone rang and his brother called. His brother called me and said, oh, my man, they call him Norris 12. Because he told me how Norris 12 was one class behind us. And Norris said, oh, my man, your man here, he got a little job. And I was out there. I said, okay, good for him. And now how come Norris gave me that number? And I called him up. And I said, Mr. Tuel, I said, my man, so you doing late in there? He said, yeah, my man, I'm doing late in here. And I said, well, how many people paying you? And then he said, my man, I'm making $7,000 a month. And I said, damn, my man, must send some for me. And then he said, oh, you just said that America, why you don't want to come here? And then we laugh about it. And then he worked for a few times. And then his brother called me, I think after a month or so, maybe 2-3 months down the road. And he said, oh, your man in the Ivory Coast. And I said to him, but what are you doing in the Ivory Coast? And then he said, oh, he got a job with the African Development Bank. And I said, but the people speak so French over there. He said, no, they play, he work, they both speak English. But I never got to talk to him while he was there. I never got to talk to him. All right? Hold on here. I'm getting closer to something here too. And I never got to talk to him. Then, the next thing I know, we ran the campaign. And after we ran the campaign, as you all know, Mr. Weah was declared president. And after he was declared president, I started calling to congratulate them. I call. The number couldn't get answer. The number on the tier now. I call, the number couldn't answer. So I said to myself, let's forget it. Let me just forget it. So I said, all right. I said to myself, well, we'll see. And then later on during the game, I received a text message from him. And he said, we are coming to Philadelphia to promote the Pro agenda. I said, for real? He said, yes. So I went and spoke to my wife. I said, they may not be pick up my call. He want me to go meet him. And then she said to me, you know that how Liberia is. When people get elevated, they change the position, they change the number. I said, yeah, you know what? You got a point there. So on that day, I went there. It was raining. Check how it raining on the East Coast here today. And it was on the same Sunday, some part of Philadelphia. I went and put up my jacket up, sit my Sunday up. And when I got in the hallway, I saw all the people sitting down there. And for me, I don't like to be in the picture. So I went and sat down all the way in the back. You know me. Those of you that know me, you'll get to know that I'm not a proud guy. So I went and sat down in the back. And then they had the people with the mic. My man, you get on the side, man. You get on the side. You get on the side. So the line went. And then after that, when I got to the front page or the front of the line, I had my baseball hat, my jacket like this. And the guy gave me the mic. And I said, my name is J. Randy. Just by me announcing my name, he jumped behind his seat and came straight to me and gave me a hug. And I said to him, I said, my man, you minister now. You can't be in the midst of people like this and can't be giving me a hug like this. And then he said to him, my man, to hell with that minister thing there. How you been? I said, I'm all right. And then he said, look at you now, you're getting old. I said, yeah, I said, you're getting old too. And then he said, where you sitting? I said, I'm sitting back there. He said, no, sit right in from here. So I sat down there. I didn't want to be in front of them. The next thing I look around and everybody started looking at me. After the whole show was finished, There's a guy they call Larry Putu. Anybody who know Larry Putu? Larry Putu and Toy used to be Shetty and Boho in Totmaha. He was more closer to Toy than me. Except when Toy came here in 2001, he and myself met at my only bungalow, Frenchman called Entre Couché. It was the first time that I ever saw Toy, and then I took him to Larry place around Upper Darby area. And well, last time I saw him, except for communication. So after the interaction, I went to Mr. Toy. He and I started having a conversation. But what I was getting from Morovia, I was not happy with that. Because I kept listening to Mo Ali and others saying that the government got no plan. The government got no plan. So when Toy came to me, I said to Mr. Toy, I'm hearing Mo Ali saying that you don't have a plan. What you got up to? Is that true? And he said, yes, we don't have no plan. And just in that time, Eugene Namwe came to the conversation. And Eugene Namwe said, we got a plan, we're working on it. And I said, good, that's your plan. But you got to stick with that. Because you took office in January, right? You got from now to June. You got ending third quarter. And you got one more quarter to end June because the fiscal year was starting in July. So you can use that time to build your plan. He said, yes, you're right. And then Toy said, I need you to come to Liberia. I said, Toy, you want me to come to Liberia? He said, yes. I said, what the invitation? Toy said, no invitation. I said, Toy, you and myself live in that country over there, right? We went to Tomoha. Remember how we would go to minister then door, we knock on office door, and nobody want to give her any respect. Do you expect me to live in America here and go to Liberia? So some kind of fully guy to the gate that will be asking me question. Oh, what you here you can see? So I said, my man, you can't be an American way here. I said, I'm not coming there until you tell Mr. Weah to send me an invitation. And that photo that I always show to you guys that Mr. Weah myself took photo. See how you see Mr. Coming myself. He said, okay, I'll get back to you. And when they went back, if you recall, it was when 12 made that statement that they sit for the special election of Joel Howard Taylor and Mr. Weah. He said it was not that important. They didn't have the money, and it blew up into some kind of big political discussion. And at that time, 12 went down. When I called him, he was not happy. But before 12 left, those of you who had the data, they had Mr. 12 business card right here. That's the one he gave me that day, right here. See it for yourself? Now, Eugene Namwe from the Eddie Johnson City Government Administration, that was Eugene Namwe card here. Mr. 12 Special Assistant, that spreadsheet I'll show you. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here quickly here. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here. You remember this spreadsheet here? Let me try to hide myself here. Remember the spreadsheet? Look at the last name. Okay, let me just move the thing from here. Let's get out of this thing here. Let me move this something from here so that you guys can get to see it. Let's move this from here. And let's blow this up here. So this is a list that usually if I'm going to put up here. Now I want you to see what Samuel 12 is right down here. As you can see right here. As you can see right down here, Mr. 12 is right down here. All right. I don't know whether you guys can see the name. Let's see whether you guys can see the name. Yeah, you guys cannot see the name. I don't know what's wrong with the image here. But right below his name here, all right, right below the name here, for those of you that saw it, right below here, they got Mlen something here, all right? That is, I didn't know that was Mr. Samuel 12 cousin. Yes. I didn't know that boy they called Mlen. I don't know whether that was his cousin. But yeah, it's his business card here too. Yes, yeah, it's his business card. So let me just take this thing down and put myself here. All right, so yeah, is his business card right here. All right. This is to a special assistant here. That is special assistant. And this guy they call Chukon Kui, he used to be here with us. We got a photo that we took the last time he was with us. And there was another guy from the Freeport of Monrovia. Yes. There was another guy from the Freeport of Monrovia that came. Why am I bringing all these things? Because I just want to be very open to you guys. That what George Soros said, I would say 99% of it is all true. And for me, I got my emails, I got my cards. I never been to Labrador before, but I met them here and decided to say things to them. Yes. Yes. All right. So let's go to the video. Let's go to the audio and finish it up.
When you call me a disruption and you say, George, we are ascendancy to leadership today, has nothing to do with my advocacy. We have 6 other Liberians here, except for Key and from Guinea. Those Liberians will tell you that our George Solo, my standing up against Madam Salif, my standing up against the UP, my having principles, make CDC what it is today.
That's
the
true.
Discussion we are having about where CDC is going, where sanctions are being imposed, where you have the audacity to tell me that we are having economic growth, that Liberia is growing, when a foreign nation is imposing sanctions on you. When you D12 who own things that you could never imagine you will own. Yep. Because when the president said, I want 25 million, you care to you take out your own affair. I'm telling you something today. You can make all your big name. You can go to your Sagamo tree. You are very good with language. You can take respect Magalo. You can take respect me. But there's a day, you D12, you will stand up in corruption code. All that money where you're stealing, all the big English where you're speaking, you will speak it to judges. Because you will not go free. Weah will not go free. Our dream that was stolen, our revolution that was stolen, our people that are suffering, you will pay for it. So you can come and say, oh man, Mr. Minister, when I knew you, you couldn't even afford a car. And you want to now only show that when you came for the campaign, who rented a car for you and who paid for it? You never even had transit to wear.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you.
So there you have it there, guys. Everything the young man said over there is true. Everything he said is true. Yes. Everything that George Soros said over there, they are true. They are true. And it's only up to Mr. Tuah to admit to that. Yes, but it is true. Yes. Because George Soros have been very, very instrumental in doing things for CDC. Had George Soros been with George Weah, what we see here today, we were not going to see that. I can guarantee you that one. We're not going to see that. We were not going to see that because George Soros was very, very measured. He was a guy, and he's still a guy who believed in principles. Yes. He's a very principle-minded guy. If he had been with George Weah, George Weah would not be in what he in today here. Yes. You guys have seen the video where he was there talking about, I will only vote for Weah. Weah is this. Weah is that. You will see that. But when they drove him out of there, it was when all hell broke loose. Everybody went in there now and started getting what they wanted to get for themselves. And we have the result here today. So let's move to the second phase of this Samuel Tuah man here. All right. Let's move to the second phase of Samuel Tuah here. I stand by the conviction to tell you that Mr. Tuah is not qualified for that role. He's only in there because, like the man said, he make a deal with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That's one of the reasons why he in there. But as Minister of Finance, Planning and Development, he's not in a position to run that ministry. I tell you guys right now. Tuah does not have what it takes to run that ministry. With that being said, let me show you guys something here. Look at this thing here, for example. You see here, Liberia's Small and Medium Enterprise Assessment Report. Now, this report here, we're going to read this, and I'm going to read a section for you guys right in here, as you can see all my clip here. So let's come to this other clip here, all right? The Ministry of Finance, all right? The Ministry of Finance, it used to be called the Ministry of Finance. But because Ellen was damn corrupt, she decided to get rid of the Ministry of Planning and took the planning aspect and development and put it underneath finance. But let me tell you what the role of the Ministry of Planning is, all right? So, Ministry of Planning, it says here, all right? It says Now I'm going to tell you the role of the Ministry of Planning and Finance. I sure I scanned it into document and display it here. What I owe you guys that, but nobody's going to get it information. The particular document here, you cannot find it on Facebook, and I mean you can find it on Google. It's done. You can find it. They are taking it down because it's very important. Let me read for you what the role is. So here to define the Ministry of Finance role, I mean the Ministry of Finance yet and the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs. Listen here. The Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs. The ministry was established by President Tauber. Though killed Tauber, he maintained it. Taylor got rid of Doe. Prince Johnson got rid of Doe. The both of them, they kept it. Ellen King, the first round, she kept it, but it was embarrassing to her. And she destroyed it. Listen to what I'm going to read about the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs. The Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs is the overall monitor for the various government ministry. What it says there, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs is the what? The overall monitor of various ministry, all the government ministry. The ministry is assisted by a deputy minister for administration, a deputy minister for planning and policy, and assistant minister head the 3 sectoral planning, rural, regional, and economic affairs. The activities of the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs are in the basic area of research. The Ministry of Planning is supposed to research. Research on what? Things that's supposed to happen in the future as it relates to economic policy, economic plan. That's one of the role. Statistics, taking every census after every 10 years. And monitor of agreement and specific project, overseeing budget allotment for the various ministry. Overseeing what? Budget allotment for the various ministry. That was President Tauber. What is their responsibility? The Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs is responsible for drawing up and implementing a 3 to 5 years economic development plan. Have you seen Samuel Tuah doing that before? Have you seen the Ministry of Planning, Ministry of Finance, Planning Development coming up with 3 to 5 year economic plans? Let's continue. The policy and plan contained in an annual and projected report for each ministry. Projected report for each ministry. That's their function. Approved by the national legislature and subsequently turned over to the Ministry of Planning for coordination. That was their role. It is the responsibility of the Ministry of Planning to monitor the development project by each ministry, to approve their quarterly allotment and to ensure that their quarterly achievements are within the overall national development. Hey, Mr. Cummings, don't do that here. I'm done with CDs. I'm done with ANC. That was the important role of the Ministry of what? Planning and Economic Affairs. Now, let's come to the Ministry of what? Finance. What is the role of the Ministry of Finance? Let's look for the Ministry of Finance role here, folks. Let's look for the role of the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance, all right? Ministry of Finance is on page 48. Folks, you will never find a document anywhere. You will never find a document anywhere. This is the soul of what make or what should have made Liberia better. Let's go to page 48 here, all right? And just read a little bit of the Ministry of Finance here, all right? And then from there, we'll go to a very good example coming up, all right? And then perhaps we'll leave from here by 10:30 and we'll call it a day. So let's come to page 48, all right? Page 48. The Ministry of Finance, what is the role? The primary responsibility of the Ministry of Finance, the primary function of the Ministry of Finance is the fiscal operation of the government. This entails revenue collection, budget expenditure, and debt management. That is the primary responsibility. That is the primary responsibility. So when Ellen put the Ministry of Planning underneath the Ministry of Finance, is Mr. Tuah doing research? Is he coming up with 3 to 5 year economic plan for the country? Is he giving us statistics, job creation? Is he giving us projects? No. Now, let me show you what another country is doing in terms of economic advancement. Let's go to a PowerPoint slide. All right. Let's go to a PowerPoint slide so you can get to see what other country Ministry of Finance and Planning Development are doing, folks. Yes, let's go there. All right, let's go there. So you can see what they're doing here. If you ever see the report on Samuel 12, that would be in your dream. It doesn't have that qualification to do that. All right, this is the People's Republic of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, 2020 Annual Progress Report. You will never find this thing here under Mr. Twe administration. Let's move through it. Let's move through here. Let's move through this so you can see what they have been doing here, right? All right. It says that the purpose of monitoring and evaluation, all right, the period of January to December, that is the annual report of the Ministry of Finance here within the Ghana government. Let's go down to some key area here, right? So here now they got all the what? The development dimension, they got it here, all right? But what I want you to bring your attention to here is something very important here. We're not going to go through the document here, but it's something very important that I want to show you guys here, all right? That Mr. Twe is not doing because he's not competent for that role. He doesn't come to that table with that experience. Maybe from tonight, he can try to learn some of these things here, all right? So let's keep going here, all right? There's something we call, so you see right here, what I say, a 2020 disbursement across the development dimension, economic development, environment, infrastructure, and human settlement, governance, corruption, public accountability. These are all the different programs that the ministry collects from other ministry to have the report submitted to the president of Ghana. Now, let's go down to another area I want to bring you. I think it's around page 42. Now, you see here, this is how the Ghana people determine their growth rate. All right. So the Ministry of Finance should be able to come up with a report in Liberia. Our agricultural sector in Liberia should be able to tell us what is our growth. Have you seen any report from Samuel 12 like this? No. What about the different industry that the mining? We don't have oil, right? Our electricity, our water and sewer. How much are we generating to build our GDP in our country? Have you seen TWE providing any report that lists the different sector? We have agriculture, we got the industry, we got services, our domestic product. Have you seen TWE with any report like this? No. The man is incompetent. Let's move on here. All right. Let's move on here. And from that area, the people determine all their GDP in terms of their growth. Have you seen TWE providing any report like this? No. No, no, no. When you look at employment compensation here, have you seen TWE coming up with anything or such as this? No. Because he's not competent to run that here. Now, here's a summary here. Economic development. Look at all the sector here. They got a year from 2017 up to 2020. What they have achieved in all the sector areas here. Have you seen Mr. TWE coming with any report of this? No. Not a single report Mr. TWE has come up with. Because you know what? He doesn't have that experience. He does not have that experience. Now, let's come to one of Liberia's own report. Let's come to another own report that coming up the few days. And this report is right here. Yes, the report is right here. Let's blow the report also. You can see it here. Good. All right. Let's blow the report out. This is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I want you to take a close look at it here on Liberia. This report just came up in 2022. Number 1, SDG stand for the Sustainable Development Goal. They say no poverty. The green mean they are doing better. All right. So they say they're doing better here. But for zero hunger, people in the country are hungry. All right. Good health. They say the first one say doing nothing. All the rest here, as you can see from here, they are doing absolutely what? Nothing at all. Climate change, when I tell you about climate change, what job we are going to do? Climate change action, nothing. Peace, justice, and reconciliation, nothing. When you look at what it talks about, decent work and economic growth, every day 12, 30 years or something, nothing. Absolutely nothing. The man is completely incompetent, and that is why he and his man, George Weah, they need to leave from that place. You guys are getting this information, and you need to make sure you do your best. All right? Now, let's come out to the video here now. All right? Let's come
Nobody
to the
can
video here.
disagree with that.
Let's come to the video here. And this is going to make you to feel very uncomfortable here a little bit here, folks. So don't feel hurt. All right? We are there with you. We are too much now in Samuel 12. Let's get into something small here that will touch under your skin. Y'all remember the last time when I talked about somebody like cursing people, mom, and we should not give it any credence? Guess what? Those of you that watch this show here, you will agree with me that the comment that were made by Ke Hassan against this lady they call Mariah. All right, let me just try to bring myself in here. That comment by telling that lady to shut up. I know every one of y'all, especially the ANC people, y'all were not happy about that, right? Yes, y'all were not happy about that. Why you think he did that? He did it because he has no ethics. He had no respect for woman. But he's the same man that other people can be cursing to, right? So he told the lady to keep quiet, to shut up. So let's go back because I got everything here, right? So let's go back here and let's play this here. Let's go back and play this. Let's go back and play it here. I want us to listen to it here. Because it's a lesson learned here. I want us to learn a lesson from here. All right? Let's listen to what Kev said to the young lady here. Let's listen here. All right? Let's listen to it here. Let us listen to it right here. The thing he said to the young lady here. Let's listen to what he said to her. And then we'll discuss that a little bit here. Let's listen here.
It's taking me back to when Hillary and Trump. When Trump went and brought all Bill Clinton old girlfriends and talk about Trump. That's how low that Trump went. And that's how low I think we're going on this platform today. To bring guys there on this platform who will come and talk about personal things. There is nothing I'm hearing today on policy. I think we're bigger than that on Spoon. The reason we are what we are today on Spoon because based on policy. You get Solo and Michael, they're talking about the personal thing with George Weah, and I can challenge anybody on this platform. We all on this platform have people who have personal thing against us that we argue. Mariah, you have friends who have personal thing against you. Dr. Richardson, you do. We talk about that. CEO, you do. We talk about that. Totally, you do. We talk about that. Even Dr. Peabody, we talk about that. So we should come on the platform and talk about people who have personal thing against us. That make it right? That make it right? I thought we should be talking about policy.
When you call in comments, get a policy you can be talking about. When you lie, who comments and call in
Mariah, you shut up.
Don't interrupt the man, please.
No. He will not use that language.
All right. So how does that make you guys to feel now? How does that make you to feel? Firstly, Kev Hassan is completely wrong and he's very rude. It makes me to feel that he was not even born but cloned to look at a female on what they call a platform. So Kev Hassan was very, very rude. And in my opinion, Kev Hassan should be suspended. If I were on that panel, Kev Hassan should be suspended for a month so that he can think about what he said to that girl. That would be my recommendation to Kev Hassan. But like I said, that guy they call the CEO, he's nobody. He's very, you know, in Liberia, he's important. But in this country here, I don't see him as anybody important. I don't even see this guy becoming any kind of maybe supervisor here. But what is the takeaway here? Remember the last time when I said that Mariah and Dr. Francine should try to set some examples? How many of you guys disagree with me here now? You are disagreeing with me because it was not in the backyard as the way you see Kev Hassan being very disrespectful to Mariah now. So I'm sure when he said that thing, when all of y'all watching, you're like, oh! But it is the same behavior. It is the same behavior that came from another human being and another male. Now, let's think about somebody insulting Mr. Cummings' mom. It's just this girl, right? And we all are offended about that. But let's think about somebody saying negative thing to Mr. Cummings. How will we feel? I said a few days ago, nobody or many people did not tend to agree with me. But you know the God we serve? He can give a little example to see how it feels now. My point here is, whether you Costa, whether you Prophet Key, when you misbehave the Kev Hassan, we should not have that opportunity to promote you until you change your ways. Because there is a behavior that can be developed to come back. And I'm sure many of you that watched that show that day, you all wrote Kev Hassan off. Oh, man, and just how I'm writing him off too. But let do unto other as we will have them do unto other people. If you are rude, keep it on your platform. Don't bring it on the bigger platform here. The third thing I want to bring out here, Mr. Witherspoon is not a people manager. The moment Kev Hassan made that comment, Mr. Witherspoon should have immediately taken off that show. Put him in whatever they can put him away. And he will set the tone of being disciplined. He shouldn't have allowed that guy to be on a platform. It's what we call tier 3 violation. Tier 1 violation is like, oh, I'm not going to listen, you're talking too much. Tier 2 is, you know, I'll keep talking, I will do this. But the tier 3 is that direct insult. He has said that in a place of work, the human resources director will be taking him out of there immediately because he demeaned a woman. He insulted a woman. Now, let's go to the closing and let's see what she said. Let's go to the closing here and let's hear what she said. All right? And I will bring her to this point here. Let's bring her to the point here. Yes. Let's go to the closing. Okay. Right here. Let's go to the closing here.
With the play. So I will call on all the panelists. Don't respect each other. Let us stop attacking each other. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's fair. I think we just play our respective roles and to go. Yeah. Let us play our roles and so forth. But again, thanks again, and we look forward to more healthier debates. And let us all put Liberia first and foremost.
Thank you very much.
May I come in, Dr. Can you close?
I like to say something. So this
now I want you to see the expression on Dr. Francine's face there, right? Dr. Francine is taking that issue as a no laughing matter right now. And if you look at the screen, Kev Hassan is there now watching. Why you think Dr. Francine is very serious like that? Because it's what we call in this country a hit home. The disrespect that Kev Hassan showed to that girl, a hit home. And do you think she's going to forget about it? No. Now, think about a guy who calls people mom all the time, but because he's not cursing your mom, you feel good about that, right? But that's somebody else's feeling that is being hurt. I'm not saying what he did to Mariah is right. It's wrong. Anyone with that behavior, whether it is Costa, Prophet Key, Kev Hassan, we should treat them the same. Give it zero tolerance. And they got it called Stanton Witherspoon. He is somebody that don't have no discipline, no leadership. Because Kev shouldn't be on that platform, as far as I'm concerned, when he told that girl to, I'm not going to use that word here, because it's not part of my style. Okay, Hassan should have immediately been removed of that show by Mr. Witherspoon. But if you look at it too, Mr. Witherspoon has developed a habit of allowing his panelists and to make flower. He had developed the feeling of just seeing people getting into conversation and confrontation. He had developed that feeling. That's why I believe. Because as the guy was saying it, he kept saying, oh, but it was Una George who said, we can't do that. And then he came to himself. But you see this facial expression of Dr. Francine. She's not happy because the way they talk. But listen to what she's going to say here too. Because it's a lesson learned that we need to take out of here. And it has to do with ethics and discipline. We got to be able to show discipline. We measure things that are not acceptable. And that is the behavior of bad people. If Jay already said anything bad here, say to me, you're wrong, and we will not appreciate you for doing that. And I will say, yes, in how much I want you guys here, I should be able to comply with what are some of the standards of how we can interact with each other. It will make us to think twice before we say anything. But we are seeing it now. So let's listen to Dr. Francine.
Just in response to you, Kev, I want you to know that I stand by Stanton asking you to apologize to Mariah and also apologizing to Mariah. Not because Mariah and I are the two females on this show. That means that we're going to behave and you're going to stereotype us to behave a certain way. Mariah and I present differently, and that should be respected. But you're not going to marginalize us by using your divide and conquer technique, okay? You're not going to say Francine is better at this moment. We had our time. There were times you and I have discussed this where you attacked me on this show brutally. All right?
So the man got a habit. He got a habit. You heard the lady saying attacked brutally. So what has been the rule of Stanton Witherspoon? Because this is something that happened. Has Dr. Francine, like brother said, lady complained to Mr. Witherspoon and say, hey, I really don't like the way how that guy talked to me the other time. But even if she did, what has been the action of Mr. Witherspoon? You see, when you watch this show, it's not, you shouldn't just watch these guys then because of the entertainment they provide for you guys. But you got to be able to look at the interaction, how the topic gets very heated when it becomes toxic, who creating the toxicity in the conversation, and who will go there to diffuse this toxicity by setting the rules. And I think going forward, Mr. Stanton need, at the beginning of the show, need to inform the audience that we will not tolerate any crossfire from any of our panel here, including people down here. You see, for God at me, he went and blocked me, right? I didn't say nothing to Mr. Stanton. I want to tell you who was Mr. What his name? Mr. Not Jeremiah Red, but what the guy did, that pastor that used to be on the show, I just forgot his name. I wasn't trying to tell you that meant to support Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and they went and blocked me. And that's why I don't watch their show. Because for somebody expressing their opinion, you block them. That means that you got something to hide. And that's why it came right in their face. I feel sorry for Mariah the way that man talked to that girl. You know, so the same slapping that Will Smith had done, if I were over there, I won't do what Will Smith had done. I would just inject him off the show by clicking that button and removing him at all. That's why you see the person who always run the show control all the buttons. Mr. Witherspoon should have immediately injected him. You see K. Hassan face there, there's a little smile on his face there. So it means that what he did, he feel very good about it. When you look at Mariah's face here, her face dropped because it's completed humiliation. You cannot be on a public platform and tell somebody to shut up. God be damned. This guy needs to be suspended. He needs to be suspended for a month. And those of you that watch that show, let me test your integrity now. You need to go back on that show tomorrow evening and say that K. Hassan needs to be removed of that show. And that was something I can say. I can't sit across the table with Mr. Stanton Witherspoon and friends because I'm yet to see the leadership role that he plays because things are getting out of hand. To hear Dr. Francis saying that he has in the past, that is K. Hassan, brutally, that word brutally is not a friendly word. It's not a disciplined word against her. And he's still there. And there have been no disciplinary action. So they rewarded Hassan behavior until it exploded now, and he sat right there, allow his emotion to oversee his reasoning. That I'm sitting here among thousands of people, and you guys can go there, you want to be part of the number. You see how sometimes the bigger platform doesn't really make any difference if the people who lead the platform are themselves are not disciplined. Now they are brought humiliation. That word will not take back. That recording is gone forever because we have already downloaded it here. We got to be able to hold each other accountable. Stop bad behavior. Don't encourage it at all. Stop it. Whether it's in your favor or it's not in your favor. Stop it. Because you will set a tone that will not encourage those kind of things. This guy shouldn't be on the show here anymore. Because remember, when that Reverend said, let me see whether somebody had mentioned his name here. Levi, thank you. Thank you. I was not seeing it before because I was on the big screen. All right. Reverend Levi Martin, when he said to Mike Jabate, I also got a video here too. Do I know that somebody that married somebody from West Point? Think about a white guy in the country. Do I know that somebody that will marry somebody who look like an N? How will you feel? So this guy need to be suspended for 1 month. But I don't talk to Stanton Witherspoon. He a black man. He don't get it damn for me, and I don't get it damn for them. But I will tell you, I cannot watch that show. You wouldn't send me this show for important analysis, and I would do it. But as a leader in this country who goes to work every day and provide leadership to people, that guy will not be on our panel for 1 month. And that would be a counseling and coaching. A final read up. A final read up. Counsel him and get him a final read up. That the next time you engage in something like that, you're going. Because there are good people out here that will want to go on that platform and provide good, not just analysis, but good behavior. I don't care what Mariah said. She wouldn't try to defend Mr. Cummings. All he should have said, well, Mariah, please, can I please have my voice? Please, Mariah. That is another topic for another day. It's not part of it here. Please, Mr. Stanton, can you guys hold on for me, please? All right, I'll let Mariah talk. Let me wait. That's how a real gentleman will behave. But they don't have the discipline in them. They are not trained people. He allowed emotion to go over him. So let's listen to Dr. Francine and hear what she has to say, all right? All right, and then from Mariah, then we'll call it a day.
And you're doing that to Mariah right now. You've done that to Ben Savvy. But at this moment, you're not going to use politics like your usual self to attack us. So if I were you, I will apologize to Mariah tonight. But if you choose not to do that, you are being disrespectful. And that's not what you just said, that you respect me. I see you as being disrespectful.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Mariah?
Thank you, Stanton. You know, when I sit on this show, I'm very cautious of what I say because these recordings, they're on here for life. In the future that some of us want for ourselves, we have to stand by every single thing we say in this public space. Unfortunately, People who have nothing to lose. They don't think that way. Men like Kev are what we call misogynist. They're intimidated, insecure, hate and scared of strong, intelligent, courageous, and vocal women like myself and Dr. Hussein because we emasculate them. So they call us rude and then try to pit us against each other. We only undress you with our intelligent scared and watch your unravel for the public to see. I don't need respect from men like you, Kev, Costa. If you respect me, then that means I'm timid.
Now, there's one missing component to that too. I think the way she should address that rather than just calling names, because she had dealt with somebody who is very disrespectful to other people's moms too. I think when it came to the part where she said we emasculate them, that means that from what I see, she is releasing her strength. She releasing her strength. She said we emasculate the weak men to see how they play out. So for those who go on that show, she already released her weak points. Her point that make her stronger, but she released it to make it her weak point. That means that she say things, and you who come in there, you should be able to counter what she say in a professional way. But she has figured out that all the people she had dealt with, they are weak men. And that's what she's telling them. When we give them what we think we need to give them, they don't have an antidote to respond in a professional way, but they turn into a violent person. And that's why we keep exposing them. So she's right. She got that understanding how to deal with things. But when it came to whether she cared about what Kev has said, what she should have said in my own professional judgment here, she should have said, you know what? Irrespective of what we do to you guys, anyone who presents himself as a very disrespectful man, we will not fall for that. That means you're speaking to every man who disrespect people. That's how she should have presented it. Because it is not just Costa that is disrespectful. It is not just Kev Hassan that is disrespectful. There are many people, even in the audience, that are disrespectful. But when you single out the two people, and you know there are other people out there, then your comment is being very selective rather than being very general. That's how I see it. That's my opinion, Vice. That's my opinion. I'm not being personal here. That's my opinion, Vice. That's why when you look at coaching and counseling, that's what I think she should have said to everybody. It's like your teacher in the class. You know how many students are doing well, and you know how many students are failing. So you can get call student name out. Even though this is a unique case where Kev had made himself the subject of the discussion here, but I think another way she could handle it to send a message to all disrespectful men and even some females. I think she should have been very generous. But she's still in the positive because these are people she believes are there with her in that way. But I think the way Dr. Francine addressed it directly, that was very cool. All right, so let's listen to her again.
And I'm indulging your shenanigans. But that you would take my criticism of this failed government as insult and call me rude on a public platform, then I would gladly take that label. You don't even know the caliber of women who've been called rude. Women that I look up to. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was called rude. Hillary Clinton was called rude. I am honored and privileged to join the category of those women to be called rude, Kev. You must not know me. I am a feminist. I'm disruptor of the status quo, and I live to hold men like you accountable. And as long as I sit on this show, I will continue to hold you and every single government official that you support accountable. And you know what?
Again, another start there. I admire the fact that she is going to use Hillary Clinton as a symbol and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. If they come to the role they play as women, I agree with them. But equally so, there are some nasty things that Hillary Clinton and Ellen has done. I hope she's not integrating herself with them, but only for that role of standing up to what is wrong to make sure that it is right. I will support her on that one. And that's something that I think if she ever go to any journalist to ask, they will be asking her, what part of the Ellen and the Hillary Clinton do you really speak to? What part? Because not all women agree with Hillary Clinton. Not all women agree to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Now, when she said, I will be able to challenge every government official within your government, that again is an issue there. Because what she's saying there now, if I will be able to, if I will challenge people within the government of yours, then she's not being very fair in there. Why? She should say, any government official in this country where I find myself, I will hold their feet to the fire. But if you only say government official to you, then I have an issue with that comment. Let's listen to Hoya again. All right, let's go back a little bit here. Let's go back to Hoya a little bit.
Our intelligence get and watch your unravel for the public to see. I don't need respect from men like you, Kev, Costa. If you respect me, then that means I'm timid and I'm indulging your shenanigans. But that you would take my criticism of this failed government as insult and call me rude on a public platform, then I would gladly take that label. You don't even know the caliber of women who've been called rude. Women that I look up to. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was called rude. Hillary Clinton was called rude. I am honored and privileged to join the category of those women to be called rude, Kev. You must not know me. I am a feminist. I'm disruptor of the status quo, and I live to hold men like you accountable. And as long as I sit on this show, I will continue to hold you and every single government official that you support.
See that? So that is the error there. And every single government official that you support. I found a little bit hair around there because if she is disruptor of the status quo, there are some people that Kev Hassan does not support that are also part of the status quo. So I think what she should have done over there is to say, Kev, whoever you support, whether in this government or any government, and to any government official who want to defend or support a status quo, I am here to be the disruptor of them. That is you making things general, but to single it out to Kev, something is not. And you know, when you're speaking to the public, you have to think about your audience you're speaking to, because your audience got diversity of minds. They got diversity of mind. This is not like a one-to-one. You are on a bigger platform where people from all over the world listening. So when you're making a presentation like that, you always got to think who your audience you're speaking to. You got to speak beyond the boundaries. And this comes with experience too. Yes, this comes with experience. All right. It's not just coming from me. This is something that I do for living in this country here. We go for training for that. All right. So let's see. But she's doing well. It's just that those little areas need to be patched a little bit. Yeah, because those are the things that can create. Those are the things, because for me, I'm a political strategy. And, you know, if I was not in ANC camp, I could use that. Say, hey, you see, she wouldn't single out ANC, CDC government officials. She's not going after other people. What make her think that the other person in her government will not be like that too? So you see, you don't want to create things that will bring things. And again, folks, listen to me. Don't inject your personal feelings into this. If you do that, you'll be wrong. If you inject your personal feeling into this analysis I'm making, you'll be totally wrong, because you'll be looking at only one side. I want you to look at things generally. Yes, I want you to look at things generally. If you look at things generally, you will be fine. I'm not saying she's wrong, but what I'm saying is she should try to make it more beautiful. You remember Maradona, who scored that goal with him, and people said it was a goal? Today, people still having that conversation, right? So we don't want to kind of thing to create that kind of confusion. All right, so let's wrap it up, folks.
Accountable. And you know what? You may have been on the show long hours, but I bring more value to it than you ever will. So continue to sit here and call me rude, but we will focus on the issue.
And also too, I think that area there was not that particular comment. To me, I see that as a pushback, and she's right to do that. But professionally, I think I'll be very mindful not to do that, because people already know her value on the show. Yeah, people already know her value on the show. But if you say you've been here for a long time and I am bringing value here, then again, it looks like some form of retaliation. Yes, because She is the victim now, and we all know that she is the victim. We all know what she has said so far is right, but to say I bring more than you, but directly, then I mean that she is actually trying to retaliate, and I mean if she 100%, that can become a 99.98%. She could lose 2% because all she should have said, you know what, I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm adding here, Mr. Kevin son, and you know I will be here. Don't even say I bring more value here than you. That means you engage in the present. But you can even praise yourself in a situation and say, I am here and I know what I'm doing here. I'm confident that I am an added value here, and I will not allow any distraction. You know, she could address it directly too. Mr. Kev, I will not allow your distraction because I see myself here as a valuable asset, and I will do the best that I have been doing, and I will continue to do it. But to say I'm better than you in this, no, it's going back and forward now. All right, so let me progress.
The issues and we create the checkpoints every single time for the Liberian people to see right through the lies that you're continuing to feed them. So take this from a rude woman to you tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night, Kev. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Stanton.
Guys, we want to say thanks to everyone. Today is the birthday of our own president.
All right, now so I mean, when it comes to Mr. Witherspoon, I know there are times, but I will be very pessimistic about what I'm about to say of him. I'm going to be pessimistic, not optimistic, because by now, I don't know how he does it, but by now, there should be some type of post out there to the audience that Mr. K. Hassan has been suspended. All right, it happened on Friday. We went to Saturday. We went to Sunday. I hope by tomorrow morning he should be able to come out with something and say Mr. K has not been suspended. Yes, they can go to a board meeting right now, or they can go to their caucus meeting and say the man will be suspended. He can put the month down. But I think what he should have said over there, all right, before the show closed, let's listen to what he will say here first.
Our friend, you know who we're talking about, talk about Yenswa. Is that today?
Tomorrow, tomorrow his birthday.
Tomorrow is his birthday.
Today, Ellis Coffee wedding anniversary.
Toba Yenswa turning 48 tomorrow.
For real?
The same day, Ellis Coffee going to be celebrating an anniversary. You know, the two crew guys know how to do that thing.
What you saying?
Yeah, the man. He doesn't look 48. He does though.
He look young, too young.
Toba Yenswa, a crewman from Newton. The man said global COVID-19 fighter, award-winning excellent in U.S. public health practice, award the man who headed the team that raided Liberia of the unprecedented Ebola crisis, Ebola hero, a founder man, my own point four brother, Newton as some recording, the Simple Bridge, the Old Road, Rehab, and Sano, brother, Councillor Toba Yenswa, as he celebrated his 48th birthday tomorrow. I messaged today, then he said on September 10. September 10 are tomorrow. The small family, now and tomorrow and forever, we continue to pray to God for more blessing upon this son of the soul, or Liberian, for doing everything he continued to do as he celebrates this wonderful birthday. We send a special shout out to Councillor Toba Yenswa. If you know him, call him. He's celebrating his birthday tomorrow. He's inviting you. If you want the address, I will share with you. He lives in Delaware. I will share his address with you for you to go to the party tomorrow, because I know where he is. He said, wow, don't do this. But what I say,
it's past midnight. I gotta be up early.
Oh yeah, it passed midnight.
Yeah.
Ellis Coffee wedding anniversary. A big shout out to him tomorrow. And I know he's gonna have fun. We're gonna announce it again. Guys, thank you very much, man. I want to for sure. Sorry to keep you so late tonight. We wish you guys well. See you tomorrow. Bye.
All right. So you see how the guy is very unprofessional. He needs a little bit of guidance. We witnessed at the very end of the show an undisciplined farewell to the show by every member on the show. And the last thing he came out to say is about celebrating birthday. Never address the issue. What I think he should have done is to reassure the audience. Because you see, when you're dealing with people on a show, You got to be very careful with your audience. Not what your mind thinks of people that you know personally. Your mind should be very diverse and open. Because what has happened on the show from the last comment from Mariah, he should have come in and say, look, Mariah, what happened to you? We stand with you. Kev, you should apologize, and I'm asking you to apologize. You have the will to say to do it now or later. But I will not allow anyone on this panel to disrespect me and any female here. And I hope that it will not be repeated here. That message will be going to the audience because the audience themselves too are part of the growth of that show. While it is true, you're not going to give them the detail of your action, you need to come up with some type of statement that will give the audience some level of comfort that say, you know what? Immediately the thing happened, he said something, and I think I'm okay with that, but I'm looking forward to more. But what did he do? He jumped straight into somebody celebrating their birthday. That tells me that he doesn't even have what we call I care values. Because he should have made Mariah to be protected, as we always say. But he never said that. You see, when they say not every CEO is created equal or are created equal, he's one of those. He needs guidance. He doesn't have what it takes to be called a CEO. No disrespect to him, but I'm only looking at his people skills. How does he handle crisis? He proved to you that he doesn't know how to handle crisis. The last thing he should have talked about was the birthday thing. Mariah has spoken, Dr. Francine has spoken, Timothy spoke. This man, the Cocker Hassan, said on the show, I'm not going to apologize. He showed disrespect. I think he shouldn't have done that. Yes. Yeah, I don't think he should have done that. Yes. Who writing something here? George Flo had 3 times. Do you think Derek Chauvin killed him? Somebody trying to distract here. And the person here is going to be black. You see, there are some people who come with fake names. And when they come with fake name and start to put distraction, it could be somebody who is very, very close to that individual. And that is why we have to let them go. Yes. I don't know who the individual is here, but he has to go because he's watching it from Facebook, and then he want to cause trouble here. So we got to let that person go. Yes. Yes, we got to let that person go. All right. We can tolerate kind of comment here. We got to let that person go. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for what you guys have been doing. Thank you very much. And we hope that we will take you from what we're experiencing here tonight. All right. We'll take you from there. And then we'll go on ourselves. So that's where it is. So the show is over, guys. The show is over. Let me see where the person coming from. I know where they're coming from. The show is over, guys. Have yourself a pleasant night. We'll see you guys. Have yourself a pleasant night. We'll see you guys. All right? Yes. We'll see you guys. Take care. God bless you guys. And bye. See you guys. Those of you that just joining, we'll see you guys. Show is over. God bless you guys. Bye for now. All right? See you guys. Hopefully by tomorrow morning, we'll be on Hot FM. Yes, hopefully by tomorrow morning, we'll be on Hot FM in the morning. Thank you guys for everything. Oh, just before I leave, I got a phone call today, but I'll be able to give you an update on the phone call. I'll be able to give you an update on the phone call. All right? I talk to you guys. Bye.